What up, world? Welcome back to Furrow Publications YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about zines and DIY publishing. And for those of you that don't know, I am in the hunt to purchase a larger size printer that would have the capabilities of printing a more traditional looking comic book, at least, the more traditional 80s, 90s into 2000s size comic book. Now, before I make the purchase, which I was already like gung-ho and I was like, I'm going to get it now. I decided, right, because my mind became more rational, and I decided that one, I should have a comic book project done so that once I buy the printer, I can go ahead and print it out to see whether or not I like the way it looks. Because most places only have a 2 to 3 week return policy. Now, I don't want to get a printer, sit on that printer, finish a project, and then to find that I don't like that printer. I don't think I'll be able to finish the Halloween magazine anytime soon. So my mentality is that I need to finish just a comic book that I was working on. And this is actually something that I was working on. It was going to be a one-shot zine, a fairly large zine at that. And it's called The Universe According to Rich. And what I decided is, I think this is what I want to do as a one-shot comic, which in the end is just random crazy stories. A lot of it are kind of diary comics, and then a lot of it is just me viewing the world, different sci-fi shit that I like, so on and so forth. So what I've been doing right now is I've been looking at some of the pages and thinking about what I want to do, how I want to do it. And so this is what this is, right? I felt like this might be something good to have on the cover, right? And then right here, obviously I would have the lettering, The Universe According to Rich. And I'm just looking through what I already had on my computer and figuring out what stories I want to do, what stories I want to add, and basically trying to figure out what the page count should be. And beyond that, the next thing that I also did was I started looking at the kind of paper I want to carry, right? And so traditionally, the kind of comics that I like, I went through, and it's about 60 to 70 pound matte paper for the internals, 80-pound gloss for the cover. So this is basically where I'm at, and I wanna go ahead and get 2 to 3 samples of each paper, which I know kind of sounds like a lot, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get them from a print shop and just buy a few, maybe just enough to do one print of each, and then figuring out which one I like, and then purchasing more. So that's one of the things. I'm gonna be buying a lot of this paper and just getting it shot out to the house. That way, when I do get the printer, I can go ahead and start playing with it ASAP. And the other thing is I was looking at different softwares that I should try to get better at. InDesign is one that the homie from One and Only Comics, Brian, who's a contributor to Furrow Comics Project, he's mentioned it. And I don't have InDesign just because it's more expensive than the program I use right now. Blurb is one as well that I've seen that a lot of people use, and they're saying it's pretty good program to use. On top of that, I know that a lot of the printers that I've been looking at have their own program that you need to use. And so I'm wondering if you would even need that. But I think it wouldn't hurt for me to go ahead and figure that out. I definitely am already used to the one I use, and the one I use I already like, which is just Microsoft Publisher. It's pretty cheap, and I use that as well for work and other things. So I'm going to be doing some reading on InDesign and on Blurb and a lot of other things, and just trying to do the homework on that, as well as, like I said, purchasing the paper now and getting it shot out to me, and really trying to figure out what would be the page quality that I'm looking for, something that makes sense from a price point perspective, as well as just something that just looks visually nice and appealing. And so, like I said, this is going to be the project that I'm going to be working on. I'm throwing a lot on my plate because I still need to finish the next issue of Furrow Comics, and obviously Furrow Comics is an ongoing project, so that's always going to be going on. Luckily, we've been getting a lot of submissions, and that's going to be able to help me reduce my page count and just publish other people's shit while putting money in their hands, and then working on what would hopefully be my first more traditional, formal-looking comic, The Universe According to Rich. So that's it for today, man. I just wanted to give you guys those updates on that project, which I'm pretty amped about, and I'm working on it. So beyond that, you guys please like, share, and subscribe, and let's keep building this up, man. Lates.